All right, let's go get this live right quick. Yep, you good. I got to do it. I'm like I'm a little dog.
It's actually recording.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I ain't gonna say nothing. I was gonna say something.
All right, we're live. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome y'all to another episode of the Presidential Executive. What's going on? This your boy right here, JB. This is my brother over here, El Presidente Rag. What's going on, man?
Man, you got it.
You know what I mean? Another good live here, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Another good live. Y'all know what to do. Go ahead and like this video right now. You watching it, go ahead and like this video right now. We're wherever that you stream podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher.
Oh, and
What's up?
I mean, we ain't got it on the list, but so like explain like Buzzsprout to the people.
Okay. Buzzsprout is a podcast hosting website that hosts different podcasts that actually makes it easier for us, so we don't have to plant the audio on all different podcast platforms. We can just put it on Buzzsprout, and Buzzsprout will send it out to all the different ones and do all the other stuff. And I can just put everything on Buzzsprout and push send, and they'll send it all wherever. You know what I'm saying? So it makes our job easier. So yeah. Shout out to Buzzsprout, man.
So now is Buzzsprout something that so people wouldn't actually go to Buzzsprout to listen? They would just.
Oh yeah. Well, no, you can actually go to Buzzsprout and listen.
Okay.
You can. We do what we do on that, but you know anybody can actually go to Buzzsprout and listen to it on Buzzsprout if they want to.
Okay.
So yeah, Buzzsprout is another.
So we actually on Buzzsprout
too. Yeah. We on Buzzsprout
okay.
too. You know what I'm saying? If your choice, you know what I'm saying, on Buzzsprout, we're right there too. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is put in whatever podcast you listen to, click in it right there, press play. You know, we right there.
Well, no, because I noticed like, especially like on the Preacher Man Jones, like I would see, the Buzzsprout.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so
before I went, to video, a lot of my listens was on Buzzsprout.
Okay.
That and Apple Podcasts and others too. But I got some good listens on Buzzsprout too.
Yeah, you got real emotional on the last one.
Look, I told you, man. I
didn't know. Like, no, I couldn't even. It was one of the moments where you kind of want to I want to admit, but it was like, I get it.
No, I get it. Yeah,
but you kind of downplayed it. You was like, oh man, she had me in my feelings.
I did.
I didn't know though. Like, no, you really like.
Yeah, no, for real.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, like, cause
I was boo-hooing, dog.
I was at the homegoing, the service. Out in Millington. No.
Are you talking about Pops? Okay. Yeah, okay.
And so, like, you had some moments.
Yeah.
But you were really stoic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of, like, you kind of waiting for somebody, the other shoe to drop, like, okay, hey, I'm here if you need, like, but you was really, I was like, man, you composed yourself, really well. And so, even in the times that we talked about it, I know, like, when we did the episode, it popped up on my memories, the Black Fathers Matter episode, and we talked about your pops, my pops, different men that have impacted our lives, and just what it's like for us being fathers. And so even in that moment, like, you could see, like, okay, it's hitting you, but I still didn't see it.
Yeah,
like, that's the first time I actually saw it.
Yeah, that was, and it was genuine too, man. And honestly, I'm editing and everything, and so I wasn't even going to put it in there, you know what I'm saying, because I put it in the beginning, you know what I'm saying, kind of like a preview.
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying, I was like, it was real, man, like, for what happened, the reason I started crying was because she brought up a time when her mom was in a coma. Mm-hmm. And, she was in a coma, and her and her doctor were talking about some stuff, and the doctor was basically like, let's pull the plug. And then she got up, she was in a coma, and she was like, well, she heard everything. She says, the doctor, I'm glad you told the doctor not to pull the plug, da-da-da-da-da. But then she was like, I thought you was in a coma. And so that brought back to me when my pops was, the night before he passed, me and Zarina was having a conversation. I think I told you. And we was like, man, we got to help out Mom. We got to do this and that because, it's a lot to be done. Because at the time he was in hospice, we was changing him. Me and my mom was changing him, doing all this stuff. And so it was like, we got to come up with a game plan because it's a lot. And I know Pops heard it. You know what I'm saying? Pops heard it. And I did, like 12 hours later, Mom, like, your dad gone. And so when she said that, I was like, because I knew the last thing to go was your hearing. You know, you know what I mean? So I was like, and she put that up, that just confirmed it to me. I was like, I know Pops. Pops like, man, y'all good. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? So that, when she did that, bro, I was like, I was trying to hold it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that. And then, you know, even on the pod, I was like, man, you know, go ahead, take it for a minute. So I had to come back and explain to her what I just told you then. But yeah, I was, because Donna was sitting, her husband was sitting right over there. He was right over there on the side. So
good old Don.
Yeah, good old
Arness.
Hard done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he just got that hard face. I'm like, dog, like, you know, smile. You know what I'm saying? Smile sometime.
But no, I mean, like, how she was speaking to her, like, and her, I know she kind of really was feeling it because it's times two, you know, for her. Yeah. And, like, I knew both her parents. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, like, so how she talked about, you know, her dad. Now, I didn't know he was in the military. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, like, keep in mind, like, he ran the gym in South Memphis, Gaston community. Like, he ran it, like, Sherm, yes. Yeah. And, like, he didn't play.
Didn't he coach Moya, Torian Moya?
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, my cousin.
Yeah, T-Head.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but but he was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't play. You know what I'm saying? And so when she talked about crime being a sign, like, I felt that because, like, if you knew him, he was a strong, you know what I'm saying, like, hardcore, you know.
And I didn't even know it was like that, you know. Yeah. Her whole, like, we've been knowing him from years, so a lot of stuff she said on the pod, I didn't know, you know, kind of how, you know, we grew up, like, you couldn't cry and do all this stuff, and so now everything makes sense. You know what I mean? And how stuff flowed and how she just lashed out and, you know, went through her grieving process. And so, you know, that whole part, I was just kind of uncomfortable a little bit because I was like, I felt it coming, dog. You know what I'm saying? Even from the beginning, because I'm talking about my pops. I know I had to talk about them. And, you know, and I can do this privately. You know what I mean? But, like, when the camera's on, I usually don't show emotion like that. Right. But I felt it. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't know when it was going to come up. But as soon as she said what she said, you know, I was like, dang. And then just let it out. I did the, you know, I did the little ugly cry for a minute, man. But it was good, though. I needed that. So now if I need to talk about it again or even on camera, you know, I think I could do it more composed. Or if I can't, you know, I don't even care. Like, I'm just going to let it out. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this, man. First, you know, here we always talked about the beefs and, you know, whatever else going on. And we was like, oh, the competition of hip-hop is getting a little shallow and soft. And then a week or two later, we got, you know, not only Rick Ross coming out. You saw he came out with a video today with Champagne Moments. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah. He came out with a video. And then now, you know, Chris Brown. You know what I mean? Chris Brown came out with, like, him and Quavo got a thing going on. I don't know their history. I can't delve into that.
That one I don't goes know. Beyond it. I think that one needs to stop. Only because when he brought up the takeoff line.
Yeah, you talking about Chris Brown?
Yeah. And he's like,
oh, for sure.
You know, when he got killed, everybody was wishing it was you.
Like,
yeah, that kind of stuff goes to the realm of, like, it's beyond music. And like we've said before, you know, again, we're all for the competition. Right. We're all for the braggadocio. I'm better than you. My style better than you. But when you kind of get into it, and we broke off, like, why, you know, hit him up was so disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like not even the whole song per se. Yeah. Just the line of
first couple lines.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck your bitch and the clique you claim, and you saying you a player, but I fucked your wife. Like, those two lines made it to where now it's like that's beyond, you know, the takeover and ether. You know, that's beyond Cannabis and LL Cool J. You know what I'm saying? That's beyond LL and anybody he went through in the 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying? That's beyond Hammer and Run DMC. You know, like
it spins off. It spins off. Like
and that because it's really personal. It's not little J. Ah ha ha ha. You said a line.
Call him Mighty Mouse, like or Kendrick did Pipsqueak, whatever
right.
he said.
That one needs to stop.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Like
I mean, it was a good diss, but that one needs to stop.
It was a good diss. Like, and then look, I ain't gonna lie. I thought about this. Remember this a while ago? We had Todd King here, and we was talking about Chris Brown and Michael Jackson.
Right.
I was saying that Chris Brown was more talented than Michael Jackson. Now, I just think this is another thing to like. Mike, the ball, like
he did the soundtrack for Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Who?
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
That's a video. Like, keep in mind, then the only reason his name is not in the linear notes of the credits is because right as they were finishing up is when their first allegation came out, the child allegation and everything like that, and so they just didn't put his name on it because they didn't want no controversy.
Yeah.
This dude, like they talked about when he would be in the studio and they were making beats, like he would sound out the way he wanted the music. He didn't know the notes like the way Prince did, but he could do stuff with it, like make the sound, and like the person playing the guitar or whatever would do what he was doing, the sounds he was making.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about the level of arrangement, now the comparison goes with the singing, the dancing, choreography, and everything like that. When we get outside of that, that's the same argument people use when they try to say LeBron better than Jordan. They talk about the school. They talk about he's still with the same wife and how good of a father he is and how his sons are better than Jordan. That's where they go. They don't stick to the court.
Well, I'm sticking to the arts.
Not, but
just
that
the arts.
No, but the comparison is because of the
Athlete.
singing and dancing. If Chris Brown was just a rapper dancer, the comparison would be MC Hammer. But he's like the whole thing came from him being a singer, dancer, choreographer. Yeah. That is where the comparison should end. When it goes beyond that, now you moving the bar.
Moving the bar.
Yeah, no, I mean, because like I said, that's the same thing LeBron stands do. You know what I'm saying? Or like the same thing the Drake fans do, because they talk about, oh, well, he sings and do all that. Like, okay, no. If we're comparing him to MCs, you can't bring the singing up. Because that's a whole different thing. That ain't we talking about spitting bars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now again, Chris Brown can do some things that Michael Jackson can't do.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
but when it comes to singing, dancing, and choreography, it's no comparison. Michael Jackson, the king, stay the king.
Yeah. The king, he's the king now. Don't get it twisted. I'm not never saying that Mike is not the king, that Chris Brown. I'm just saying, like, even Jill Scott brought it up. Even Jill Scott brought it up.
And the fact that Michael Jackson convinced people that was his real voice and that he was this timid guy, that is the best. You talk about Chris Brown being an actor. Ain't nobody better actor than Michael Jackson. Because you ask Eddie Griffin, Faison Love, Chris Tucker, anybody who hung out with Ronnie Newt, who his group was signed by Joe Jackson. His sons were signed by Joe Jackson. They were called the Neutrons, but they were all Ronnie Newt's sons. And Ronnie Newt was like a real live street dude. All of them said Michael Jackson sound like a nigga. Like that ain't his real voice. Like he does that because that is less intimidating to white people. Like the same way Little Richard said he was overly flamboyant because he could get away with doing stuff because the white guys thought like, oh, okay, well, he's gay, so he can, sit in his lap, baby. Like he don't want you like. Now we know Little Richard was sleeping with everybody, but
of course
he overplayed that because it's non-threatening, and so he sounded non-threatening. So he convinced these folks for all them years, oh, my voice sounds like this. Like that was like, man, Mike voice deep and everything else.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I'm with you on that, but it brought it up because Jill Scott came out with a tweet too because she was. I don't know if you saw it. Jill Scott came out with a tweet talking about, man, this dude can do everything. Talking about the Chris Brown days, like talking about the bars. He can dance like he does. He looks like he does. He does this well. He does that. You know what I mean? Just and also bring up we're in a different world today as far as social media. So more of your talent or whatever can get shown. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying? So he gets that credit on that. But back to your point, what you were saying, like they're gonna have to fight. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that's where it's going.
Yeah, that's where definitely where it's going.
And it ain't just like Chris Brown. Like you remember he got into who was he got into it with the club where they was throwing the bottles and
with Diddy.
Was it Drake in the club too?
Drake,
When they got like, what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like no, Chris Brown will fight everybody.
Yeah, he can fight.
He fights everybody. It's not just when like Chris Brown will fight everybody. He's a menace.
And I think he's like an honorary blood or real blood. I don't know. But I mean, he claimed it. He even said it on the song about he thinking all this R&B stuff is sweet, but I'm blood or something like. But this been years. It's not even just recently. Like I remember with him and Wayne and stuff like that. He always wore the red, had the flag and stuff like. So I'm not sure how true or it is or something. I just heard allegedly that he's a blood, an honorary blood, not a maybe a true to thing like that. But he's like affiliated with them. I guess that's a better term. You know what I mean?
I mean, like and I know a lot of people are not gonna like this.
Say it.
I feel like if you wait until you're an adult to join the gang, you're an idiot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like if you got both of your parents at home, that's because. And I know why you said. Look, I had opportunity to join several of them.
Yeah,
I had my pick. Mm-hmm. And I was cool with all of them. And I was around all of them. Mm-hmm. I was associated with all of them. But I'm looking at it because, like, the people who I knew that was really in the, like, street niggas that wasn't in no gang was like, nigga, you got both of your parents at home. So now this ain't the late 60s where our parents was Black Panthers and they broke them up and we're trying to protect the neighborhood. And that's what this ain't that. Anybody who joined the gang like after the 80s, like you're not trying to protect the neighborhood anymore.
Right. Yeah.
You have moved on from that. And that was the origins generally of all of them. It was about bettering the neighborhood, protecting, and you got to think about where they started at. California, who was there? Black Panthers.
Tukey.
Where else? Chicago. Who was in Chicago? Fred Hampton, Black Panthers. Like this is where the origin of those places started. The Vice Lords and the GDs in Chicago. You got the Bloods and the Crips in California, but that was the homes of where a large portion of where the Black Panthers was at. Mm-hmm. And so it was offshoots. Like they were if you watch certain documentaries, they called them the bastard children of the Black Panthers. Like when the Black Panthers got locked up or assassinated, it's like these orphans, and we don't have nothing to do. So we got to band together to protect the neighborhood and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? And so that was the origin of how it started. But just like with anything, it devolves into this thing where now you represent the neighborhood and not necessarily protecting the neighborhood. Yeah. Now you represent the set. You don't even live in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so now again, you're going to have people coming, oh man, you don't know. Okay, I get it. But y'all also got to admit, y'all got a lot of people who don't know the history, who don't know nothing about it, who don't care, are concerned about that neighborhood. You paying dues to a neighborhood you've never been to. Yeah. Now, again, you join it when you're a kid or whatever, that's different. But you wait till you 21, 25, like that's just idiotic.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? You got parents that's putting you in a private school or trying to get you better, and you go do that. Yeah. That's hustling backwards because any real street dude, gangster or whatever will tell you that I'm not trying to raise my kid. Like all the mafia dudes, they tried to raise their kids to be lawyers and doctors and go to college and do all this stuff because I don't want you to have to do the same stuff that I did.
Or to do that to help get them out of situations because they in the life. So I want my daughter to be a lawyer. In this life. Yeah. I can't go anywhere, but I want my daughter to be a lawyer. I want my son to be a construction worker to build us houses. I want you to be a resident notary. So when I do sell the house, not only will you get the payment, but you get the royalty or whatever with the money like that.
And then also, if your name gets big, when people hear the last name, they're going to associate the last name with you and not with me. So now if they hear Gotti, they're going to think about Gotti the lawyer, Gotti the construction worker, not Gotti the Teflon Don. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that. They're not thinking about that. No, they're thinking about his children who did all of this stuff. Yeah. And so now, you know, because anybody that's in the street, and I know dudes that still in the street, they're raising their kids to be better than them. Yep. And so if you're not better than your parents, if you went backwards, you failed your parents. Definitely. If your parents was working to get you out the hood and you go backwards, you failed them. Yeah. And so you got a platform where you can change millions of lives, and that is what you're doing.
And Ti actually said this. I don't know. I think it actually one of his comedy sets. He was making a joke talking about trap music then and then now. You know what I mean? He was talking about how, when they actually talked about trap music, that's stuff that they did. People that do that stuff, like that's the stuff that they plan to do next week. You know what I mean? Because one of my favorite albums, Project Pat, Mister Don't Play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Get It Green. You know what I mean? Like the only reason Get It Green wasn't Mister Don't Play was because Pat was dealing with some charges or whatever, and he necessarily couldn't talk about it in depth like he did on the Mister Don't Play.
Mm-hmm.
So the stuff that he talked about in Mister Don't Play, he was already out that life.
Mm-hmm.
He was already striving to, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't like he couldn't, mess himself up by what he put on Mrs. Don't Play because, he wasn't trying to live that life. You know what I'm saying? We can get gangsta.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is what his mentality of what it was when he was actually in the streets. But now these cats, Young Thug and all them cats like that, like they be talking about stuff clearly that they already did recently last week or stuff that they will do to you. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just it's a different thing. But back to even to Chris Brown, I think Chris Brown I agree with you. I don't think if you got to be grown to kind of get, but to me it's more of a show now because not only that, I think it's like part of his security too. You know what I'm saying? Not saying like he may be it or maybe not, but I think that stuff is part of his security to where, it kind of worked for him. So I don't know how that works, kind of in that, but between him and Quavo, like, it's pretty much going to be on site. You know what I mean? Because
it gets
some of the stuff that they were saying to each other, like you said, talking about Take, that's his actually family, right? Quavo, that's his cousin or brother, whatever it is.
I want to say they're all related.
Yeah,
in some kind of way.
Offset him and
one of them is like an uncle nephew, and I think the other one is like a cousin.
Yeah.
But I believe they're all whether closely or distantly related.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely related.
So I want to say it's Offset and Takeoff. Well, no. Who was with Takeoff when he got killed?
Quavo.
Okay, so
Yeah,
no,
Quavo,
so then it's
Offset wasn't there.
Okay, so it's
he left earlier that night or something like
it's
that.
It's Offset and Takeoff that
Yeah.
were the uncle and nephew
Okay.
type deal, and so yeah, man, I just like
Yeah, I do think it.
anytime somebody passes is tragic, especially in the prime of their life. He hadn't lived life. You know what I'm saying? You didn't get to see your kids grow up. You didn't get to see grandkids. You don't get to hit the 40 milestone. Like you miss all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that you did, you're not even getting to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Now you know me. I'm a man, Outkast, Wu-Tang, Bone Thugs and Harmony. You talk about groups like Migos wasn't my group, but at the same time, like they had some bops.
Yeah.
They had some songs I like.
Respect them for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And one of my top 5 wrestlers of all time, like they had the Ric Flair song, like you know what I'm saying, with Ric Flair in the video.
Yeah.
Like I can't do nothing. Like again, Drake ain't my guy, but like the Walk It Like I Talk It.
Yeah,
That video was lit. You know what I'm saying? Like again, and everybody, you don't like no, like. I respect what he does. I'm just not gonna put him up there with Jadakiss. Like, y'all stop smoking crack. Like, chill out. You know what I'm saying? I respect what he does. But it just ain't. But
yeah, I remember one time, just people asked me one time, do you listen to this type of rap? It was like the Migos and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I don't listen to that trash like that. Then I don't know, we were somewhere.
It's good in the club.
We were somewhere. I don't know. We
wasn't
weren't in the club. And they were playing this. I was like, walk it, like it, talk it. Walk. I'm just like, I'm like, damn. I was like, okay, I'm my bad. I'm, you know what I mean? Like you said, they got a lot of bops. Their flow is infectious. Their ad libs are elite. Like the ad libs is like, mama, like just take off. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, they're you can't deny it. They're one of the top groups of all time. I think they they say they number one or whatnot. They wouldn't be number one in my book. But as far as influence, number ones, and pretty much anytime they drop, you know what I'm saying? If they dropped a video on YouTube, John had like 10 million in like 10
Yeah.
hours. You know what I mean? So,
Like, dude, my only problem with them is like if you take the beat away. If somebody was to say one of their lyrics, just like you know how like niggas do at the lunch table, you walk through and somebody,
yeah.
it don't sound good without the beat.
Yeah.
Like you can take any Jadakiss verse and you say it, and it's like, man, for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you take any, like you could say a Jay-Z line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like
right.
without the music, and it's still hard. But like to your point, man, you play that joint, it's like and again the ad libs, their chemistry as a unit, as a trio.
Yeah.
But to
Undeniable.
your point, like
Undeniable.
if Chris Brown and Quavo see each other, because
It's over.
I was just like,
It's over with.
and don't get me wrong,
It's over with.
I'm not for the sake of a diss. It is a great diss.
It was.
I don't know, because we're amazed by Chris Brown because, and then he had the line, "You getting bodied by a singing nigga." You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That
was at the end too.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I would buy a whole Chris Brown album that was just him rapping.
Yeah.
He doesn't rap that good, and that's why we say, oh, okay, no, you had a shot.
Yeah.
It's like watching Nate Robinson.
He got some good moments though.
You know what I'm saying? It's like watching Nate Robinson.
He been some real good moments.
Nate Robinson is an amazing athlete, an amazing dunker, but you're not going to build your team around Nate Robinson.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't go watch a team full of Nate Robinsons play.
Yeah.
But now you're good at what you do. You could do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not finna invest.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and now we don't go to the store and buy CDs no more. But and don't get me wrong, taking nothing away from Breezy.
I'll stream it.
Taking nothing away from Breezy. Great diss, good song, but I'm not finna buy a whole album of you rapping.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah. So yeah, that is that on that, man. Chris Brown, Quavo. I think the verdict is, I think they definitely need to. We can see this going another way that we can see ourselves.
No, I'm not Muslim, but they need to call Minister Farrakhan.
Yeah.
They squash that.
Definitely, because I can see us in a few weeks, God forbid, if they happen to see each other, some go left, and we back here saying, "Oh man, did you hear da 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 da?" You know what I mean? Because they're saying words and they diss is just like it's just fighting words. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just fighting words. So
what's up with this AI stuff?
Well, I get the Drake updates from the number one fans, as soon as it came out. Like, I didn't even know the stuff came out. They shared it in the chat, and it was like all I heard was, I heard Pac. I think he was first, and then Snoop, and then I think Drake had a third verse, and so it was. I didn't like it at first. I ain't gonna lie. Like, when I first heard it, I think it was modern, but I thought it was kind of weird when I heard it, because I'm like, and I get what he was trying to do, because West Coast, Tupac, West Coast, if you remember years ago, Snoop, there was that somewhere they passed the baton to Kendrick, so they basically, put him as the lead in the West, from the lineage of Snoop and Game and Ice Cube and all those guys. And so, but I also thought too, I was like, I said it soon as, or not soon, maybe a day after, I was like, this could backfire on Drake. You know what I mean? And just because now, how them West Coast, like, because Kendrick got some gang ties, you know what I mean? And so now, I don't know if you heard, Suge Knight came out and said something. Tupac Mama came out and said something today, talking about how she thought it was just distasteful, she didn't like it and stuff like that. So the AI, I get when people saying it's creative, to a degree, it's creative or whatnot, but I think he barking up a tree that could slick backfire on him, and that it could actually play in Kendrick's hand, because you basically putting Snoop in it, and Tupac in it, and what Suge Knight said also, he said you kind of putting Tupac as a pun, you know, but he never was a pun. He was a chess on the chessboard, whatever he was saying with that. So it's like it was cool. I wouldn't say it's trash, but I think Drake needs to be careful with that AI stuff because you got some Glasses Malone said something. You know who he is on the West Coast and stuff.
Right.
You know, thought it was corny, thought it was whack because now you pretty much putting people that was on the West Coast to this high standard, dissing the current king of the West, and it's like, you know, they don't play with that stuff out there like that.
Right. So now, again, you know, like you so because you alluded to this, I'm gonna do like Jay Sanders did, like, and I know we gotta go in on it, but I'm gonna do like he did last week, and I'm gonna take a sidebar for a second because you referenced that you get an update from the stands. Yeah. So now you do realize that the three people you usually get an update with, like, I have known them longer than you, and I have a better relationship with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when I say the things that I say, now I know y'all interact more on social media,
right?
But like let's go with my little cousin first, right? So now and that's family, that's cuzzo, that's kinfolk.
Yeah.
Now you remember years ago when you suggested that he have a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
He felt he was offended.
Yeah, he was.
He was in it. He was upset.
Yeah.
Because he knew where he came from.
The audacity.
And the pedigree that he had, because he got to sit at the table where, like when we had DJ Black in here, if you don't spit, you got to get out the room.
Yeah.
So the fact that you would offer to give him a ghostwriter, it was offensive to him. Mm-hmm. He felt the type of way about that. So
and I almost forgot about that.
Right. And so as Cat Williams said, the loyalty that you have like is beneath you. But so we're gonna go to my other two guys who I for years we performed together all over the city. Okay, and we talked about times where we're doing a gig and I know the type of level that they do their spoken word on. I know how and they are goats.
Now, to one of their defenses, Cash is a Kendrick guy. I'm just saying.
Okay, but I'm just saying. But for the way they defend
but the other
Drake,
one, yeah.
We've talked about times where they get up there, and I mean, I've never seen them look at a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Either one of them.
Yeah, that's
cool. I've never seen Larry or Grant look at a piece of paper.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen them.
And that's one thing, and we pride ourselves on the level of our stage performance and how they do it. And so it's times where we were doing a gig and it was people who got up and they're reading off a paper.
Yeah.
And they was just like, man, it would have been dope if
You
see what I'm saying? So it ain't no like somebody who reading off their paper doing their poem. Like, I don't care how prolific your poem is, you don't hold a candle to hashtag Cashmere.
True.
And that man it's almost like he having a conversation with you. And then when Grant go, it's like, man, it's like your cool big brother, your cool uncle talking to you, like giving you some game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I know they keep you updated, but like my only thing is for the level of legends, the way I look at y'all.
Yeah. Be right.
And you know me, like I ain't no, like, you know, man, I tell you ass, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I look at them niggas as like, because I got to perform with Cashmere and Sir, and you already know, I helped raise Mikey. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like he know I go to war for him any day of the week. Yeah. So the loyalty that they have to be keeping you updated and going back and forth on social media is very upsetting to me because of how I respect and look at them.
Yeah. Now you really gotta get on Mikey though. So Mikey the main one.
Right.
Mikey the main one.
That's why I said that's why he was first.
Yeah.
So now that I've done the sidebar, you said you're not gonna say the song was bad. I'm gonna go take the opposite route. Okay. Like I listened to it, like that song was ass. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you what, it wasn't ass. It wasn't just ass. It was ass that was on fire after having taken the shit after taco night while drinking Pepto-Bismol as a chaser.
I'll take that.
Like
I'll take that.
This, because if you listen to it, now listen to it again.
Yeah.
all 3 verses was Drake.
Yeah, all 3 of them was him.
But the thing is, and like I was listening, none of the style. It wasn't Pac style.
No, it was just his voice.
It wasn't Pac style.
It's just his voice. You know what I mean? But
it was just his voice. And so like I'm listening, and I'm like, I don't like within like the first 3 or 4 lines. I'm like, that's Drake.
Yeah.
It's just you put the AI effect on it to make it sound like Pac, but it's your cadence, it's your style. So now I don't even hear Pac anymore. I hear Drake almost doing a Tupac impression, so I can't even get past that.
Yeah.
And so and the reason why, because I know like people always say you got it all or whatever No, it's not that. Like I like for the sake of, let me see. I'm trying to see. Like I got all the Tupac's albums on my playlist in my playlist, and so just so you see, and you can read it to the people. Look at my playlist that says Route.
Route, yeah.
How many songs is in Route?
1,244 songs.
So in that 1,244 songs, I know I got like 200 of them. That's Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
Now in that, of course, I listen to it all though. Big Daddy Kane in there, it's Pharcyde in there, it's Drake in there, it's Jay-Z in there, it's Lil Wayne in there, it's Outkast in there, Royce the 5'9", Eminem, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Rocket. Like I got a plethora. Like I listen to a lot of. I got 3-6 and 8 Ball of MJG. Like I got Velly in there. I got my Memphis stuff. Like I listen to a plethora of stuff.
Right.
But Tupac has a good portion of my playlist.
For sure.
And so now if I don't know nothing else,
and
I say probably the only 2 people I know that love Tupac more than me is probably Velly and my homeboy. Shout out to my homeboy Sajak. Them the only 2 people that I say that I concede that probably love Tupac more than me.
Yeah.
But when I listen to that, like, so to your point, the disrespect level, like, yeah, that was very disrespectful.
Yeah, it was.
Then Snoop, and he comes in with the nephew line, like, definitely didn't have his cadence or flow. And I've heard a song where Game was rapping like them, but Game not only did he imitate the voices, but he also had the cadence.
Yeah.
He was rapping like their style.
Yeah.
Right? Royce the 5'9" did one where he's rapping in the cadence and the flow of Tupac and Biggie, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel that.
Yep.
I didn't feel that. So first of all, I couldn't even get past that. Listening to it. So now when I say, okay, even though I can't get past that because people are mad, oh, Drake made a comeback, nigga.
Yeah.
It's like, it would be the equivalent of, let's say we were at war with one another and you shot me with a bazooka, right? And then I come back. A matter of fact, you remember the movie Harlem Nights?
Yeah.
You remember that scene where Arsenio them is looking for Eddie Murphy and the car crashes and Eddie Murphy hop over the thing. So they got the Tommy guns and they're shooting. Now, they just shooting in at one guy's. Pow, pow with the revolver.
Yeah.
That's Drake. Like, because Kendrick, even indirectly on Control, was that Tommy gun.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that was the Tommy gun. And here comes Drake with the 6-shooter. Bow, bow. And niggas is amazed.
Yeah.
Off of 38.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. If you know anything about guns, 38s are reliable. They don't jam.
Yeah.
It's good to have.
Yeah.
You know what it's going to do. But, like, you're not trying to go to war with a 38.
Yeah.
Like that, you wouldn't
like that.
go to war with a 38 special.
I like that analogy.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what Drake is. And so niggas is just, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of y'all don't want to admit it. A lot of y'all are homosexuals. A lot of y'all have Drake's penis up your butt. Definitely. Y'all was watching the video where he was playing with himself. Y'all got turned on. And that's okay. It's 2024. If you want to be gay, be gay. That's fine. That's between you and the Lord. I don't have heaven or hell to put you in. It's not my place to fight you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna find it.
But take Drake's penis out your ear, out your butt, out your mouth long enough
Yeah.
to be objective. And a lot of people say they're objective, but they're not objective.
See, with that, I'm kind of wishing Vic was here with this because I'm sure he would
No, Vic
a little differently.
No,
a little bit.
Vic likes to play the devil's advocate.
Yeah, he does.
And he go hard. I give Vic credit.
Yeah, he does.
Vic act like he really,
Yeah.
because he just likes spicing it up.
Yeah.
But Vic definitely would give another perspective.
Yeah, he would definitely with that. But I'm with you. Like, if you want to call it trash, like I'm cool with that. I just didn't think it was like horrible. But like to your point, like you broke it down like an MC, like you are. Like it was their voices, and it sounded like it came out. It sounded like he just did something on the fly to be like he got another one out for Kendrick. You know what I mean? It didn't sound like he took his time with it. It was just like, okay, bring it out here, trying to basically. And to his credit, I give Drake this. He's trying to rush Kendrick to do something or to put something out because he knows once Kendrick comes out and does what he does, so you better pile on now. Pile on now because when Kendrick comes out, it's going to be hard to continue to pile on.
He's doing the same thing that Meek did to him. You remember Meek had put out 2 disses, and neither one of them was well received.
That's right. He did do 2.
Yeah, he did 2 before Drake did back-to-back.
He did 2, yeah.
And then Drake did back-to-back, and it was over.
That's right. I didn't think about that.
Meek started talking about prison reform.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Turned over
and
real
and
quick.
we, like, I'm going to do this on live. And I'm going to put you on the spot.
Go ahead.
We need to go on and do it.
What's up?
Probably not all at the same time, but we need to go on and get them niggas on here.
Yeah, for sure.
We need to, because them
been-
my nigga, like I love them niggas.
They said
but
they've been waiting on us, or they waiting on me, or whatever.
They need to, so we
yeah,
need to go on.
We do.
It don't matter what the order is.
Yeah.
Whoever's available first.
Yeah, this would be like a good time too, while all this stuff is kind of.
And then we talk about the other stuff too, but like we definitely, you know what I'm saying, can talk about that, cause and I don't get like, man, they can.
I'm cool with
it's
that.
nothing that they can say to me that will make me hate them, because I love all them niggas.
For sure.
Like when I say I love them niggas for real, like I love them niggas for real. Like, but we need to get them on here.
We're gonna do it.
So that way we ain't got to keep going back and forth in the comments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know I don't respond, but I read them.
Yeah, we gonna get them on here. We gonna get them on here definitely. So all right, now I do want to say I appreciate everybody that has been watching the last few weeks of the pods that we've been putting out, including with Righteous Raymond, aka Misty Quinn.
Go pick up that book, Gaslit, on Amazon.
Yeah, go pick that up. Amazon bestseller. So we got some pretty good views with that. Then Jay Sanders, whenever a week or 2 later, we had him in here, and that's running up too. And it's a lot of comments.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of different comments. And actually, Jay Sanders hit me up too, just out the blue, a few days ago in the morning. After one of the comments, kind of.
Oh, okay. So that must have been the same day, because he called me.
He called you too?
Yeah, he called me. I was at work. Man, we talked about an hour.
Yeah.
I was at work.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so, and I've had some people hit me up personally, DM me, and and just like I told them, I actually put a post up about it. We had Jason. I think with Misty, it was self-explanatory. She came. She wanted to use our platform to denounce being a part of the Delta Sigma Theta.
Right.
Okay. And then now after that, Jay Sanders, he rag up. He kind of wanted to come in here and put his perspective out there. And so, what some people wanted from me was to kind of jab at them and go, you know what I'm saying, kind of argue, kind of with them and do all that stuff, because some of them know how I felt about, I was pretty strong about it, you know what I'm saying, years ago, and, even still now. It's just, but I wasn't about to go at Jay Sanders like that on that, because I thought the whole goal was for him to get that perspective out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How he did it. Now, we did a little, I asked a few questions here and there, like, what would you say about, the name and stuff like that, and the Greek god stuff like that. I think I asked that question, but I let him answer it, and then we just moved on and let him continue to go on. So my whole thing was never to um, try to argue him at his point. Now, if we had another episode again, I will probably be more open necessarily do that. But I wanted to, my goal at least, I wanted to have Misty on to have her denouncement perspective, of which we know it's a lot of denouncement videos out there, period, on YouTube and stuff of that nature. So you can add ours to that pile. But then also I knew it wasn't a lot of perspectives out there with like with Jay Sanders coming in. You know what I mean? And have his personal experience and what he thought. Like, was it some holes in it that I probably could have actually said something about? Yeah, but he also shut that down when he also said that he wasn't going to get into the rituals and the oaths and stuff of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
since he said that, like, you know, being respectful, just let him continue on to do what he do.
Right.
Like, but for me, I mean, with the oaths and all in the rituals, like that's the key part about it. That's the kicker, from my standpoint. But I just wanted to do like a quick review, just on that side of it. And a lot of people said a lot of good stuff in the comments. And I think I tagged you in something I put in. It was this other testimony this girl
Oh yeah. I
did.
shared it on my page.
You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
put it on my page.
And but to me, I've grown because, like I said, I was that dude 13, 14 years ago going to the pastor's office with a stack of sheet of papers, with everything that everybody been saying plus more. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But I've grown, and so now I can't play Holy Spirit Junior for nobody.
Right.
You feel me? Or anybody even for my own wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a free moral agent. All you can do is say the truth, do the truth, stand up for it, be respectful. I think somebody even could respect you being more respectful and having a decent conversation rather than attacking them, telling them that they going to hell, that they, you know what I'm saying, if you don't do this now, this gonna happen to you, da 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 da. And and so I still feel the same way for years, but I approach it differently. And I think, and a couple people in those comments, I believe they got it to where that was like, wow, I never heard this perspective. Because if they actually heard this perspective, it was in a form to where now people are attacking them, and so you necessarily couldn't hear them out exactly what they're saying because they out there just arguing with them, pointing the finger, telling them this, telling them what they need to be doing, and if you don't do this, you know what I'm saying, you won't really love Jesus. You don't believe, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't personally want to do that, and I don't think you wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I think me and you kind of think the same in regards to some of this stuff with the sororities and the frats and stuff like that. But like I said, that's our big bro. So in this, I wanted to have a respectful conversation. But then also, I think when he called me back, it was somebody commented talking about, where your scriptures at or something, or you need to have this on there. Where, your influence, the influence can be on the negative side and stuff like that. And I commented was like, pretty much.
No, I saw
I
it,
agree.
right.
Like I pretty much kind of lean toward what you saying, but what I just said, I wanted to have a respectful conversation and go off that. And so, but yeah, man, that's kind of what I say. What did you think about your review of the whole situation?
So first of all, again, shout out to, we appreciate Righteous Rammer, Mr. Quinn. Again, y'all go pick up that book, Gaslit. So first, as it pertains to her, and you pointed out that she wanted to use, and she actually had been, and I shared this with you, she had been praying on how to come back to us because she wanted to get back on. It just so happened that we were trying to have a conversation with a feminine perspective, and I was like, you know what? Hadn't had her on in a while. She's usually affable in her schedule. Let's shoot it out and see. Yep. And then so when I called her, she was like, "Oh my gosh, like I was just praying on how to."
Wow.
But the way it happened, we were trying to get in touch with her because we needed a feminine perspective for another subject.
On something totally different.
Something totally different.
We weren't even thinking
and
about.
And so she asked as a favor, since I'm going to be on here anyway, she wasn't even, and which y'all don't know because we posted the videos at 2 different times. That was all shot on the same day. Mm-hmm. We did a live.
Yeah.
After the live, so it was like, we was almost here like, what, 3 hours?
Yeah. 3 hours.
We did a live. After the live, then we did that. We recorded that one where she talked about the decision that she had come to.
Yeah.
And so that was all in one day. Okay, it wasn't like, she came back again and that was all in one day.
Yeah.
So she asked us for that favor. Mm-hmm. So we wouldn't be doing her any justice had we been attacking her.
Yeah.
Why you doing it now? That wouldn't have been fair. Yeah. Because she asked us for a favor. Mm-hmm. And she had done us a solid. We're going to do you that solid. Yep. So now we're going to ask some questions. Mm-hmm. But this is your narrative. This is your story. This is what your relationship with the Lord. This is where you come. So you share that.
Yep.
And we're just here that we'll interject every now and again, but we're not going to, just because this is our platform, just because this is JB House, we're going to respectfully listen. As it pertains to, big brother, like I said, I'll say this all the time, my OG, Jay Sanders, again, he wanted to come on after Pastor Malik came on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this was last year. Yeah. We talked about this then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was at work at the post office. I'm in Mumford. He calls me while I'm on my route. It's like, oh, man, I know you working out, but, man, I had to call y'all. Like, hey, I already know. He hear the dogs barking in the background. I'm delivering the package to the door. He wanted to come on last year when Pastor Malik came on.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was just a matter of time and scheduling and everything like that, setting it up. But to his point, we had Pastor Malik come on. And he shared a lot of the stuff. He looked up his research and everything like that. And so we had Misty come back again, and she shared where she was at. And he was like, okay, you need the perspective of somebody who is currently in it, who doesn't necessarily have the same experiences, and who's not in the same position as some of the people that, like what Pastor Malik was talking about. So again, we're not just going to be interrupted. Oh, we're not attacking you. We want you to share your perspective, so now people can be objective. You can look at both sides,
make a decision,
draw your own conclusion, allow Holy Spirit to lead you in the direction that you need to go.
Yeah.
And if you feel a conviction, do that. Now to what you said in regards to the comments, I read a lot of them again. I just didn't have the time to respond to them because there was a lot of them I wanted. Now I saw one of them. You sent one of my responses. So I was like, okay, I ain't even got to say nothing.
Yeah.
You hit them.
It was a couple of them like that. It was a couple. Yeah.
But I would say, because I saw a lot of people, oh, God cares. Y'all didn't listen to what he said. Y'all took one piece, and I'm gonna hold on to that.
Because some of them didn't even finish it because they said they couldn't stomach it.
The essence of what he's saying is the organ. When he said nobody cares, he's talking about the organization. He's talking about the people at the top. So now, of course, if God told you to do it, God cares.
Yeah.
Of course, if your family is riding with you, they care. Of course, if it's somebody who's on the fence, they care. He's speaking from the perspective of the organization. The organization, if you want to leave, they don't go.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying, and he also said, if that's what God told you to do, be obedient. Do that. And I support you.
Yeah, he did.
He also said if the Lord told him, and he prays every day, he got a personal relationship with the Lord. Everybody like where your scriptures at. I guarantee you, not only does this man know more scriptures than a lot of you, this man walk is impeccable.
Yeah.
Is he perfect? No, but I know his heart.
Yeah.
Because this is somebody who I could go to, and y'all know we joke a lot of times where JB bring the righteous side and I bring the ratchet side, but this is somebody who holds me accountable. So, yes, you may not like that he says he's a part of this organization, but this man's walk is impeccable. This man's heart is impeccable. I've seen him raise people up, and not in no frat, just in life, in their walk with the Lord. Seeing this man counsel people in their marriages, counsel people in dealing with their children, counseling people in their finances. So, like, I know this man's heart. So I'm not going to interrupt him.
Right.
And so to your point, like you said, a lot of people like, man, y'all don't watch the whole video. We reference other videos. Y'all don't go back and watch. Now again, man, have your opinions, make your comments. But a lot of times when I speak, the authority that I speak with is not because, and I joke, and I had a conversation today. I said, when I say I'm always right, I said my details be wrong. Yeah. I said, now if you want to argue that, yeah, my details be wrong sometimes. I said, when I say I'm right, I don't mean that my details are always right. I mean that the point that I'm making is always right. I always make my point. Yeah. Now, I might say, JB, that's a black and green hat and it's really teal. And, oh, look, it's teal. It's not green. He wrong. Wait, hold up. Does he have on a hat? Yes. Is the hat black mostly? Yes. But you tripping off because I said black and green and it's really teal. Yeah. So now, yeah, we can argue over details like, oh, I was wrong about a date. But the point that I was making, I make my point. And so when I say that, I don't mean I don't literally know I just mean what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. You'll never hear me argue with you about tennis. And I played. Wasn't that good? But you have forgotten more tennis and taught more tennis than I'll ever know.
True.
I'm not going to argue with you about corporate America. Yeah. Because even though I've worked in it, you've done more in it than I have. I'll concede that to you. But now if we talking about the scripture or the clergy or seminary, oh, I'm going to do that. We talking about MCing, oh, I'm going to do that. We talking about movies and pop culture, oh, I'm going to do it because that's all I do in my job now. I have my headphones, I'm just listening. Yeah. But I'm listening to your perspective, I'm listening to my perspective, I'm listening to Jay Sanders' perspective. So now when I'm drawing my conclusion, it ain't just my bias and what I like. I also got to take into account, okay, well, JB made some good points. Don't agree with all of them, but I feel them though. Yeah. I get why he feels the way he feels. Right. So I gotta take that into, you know what? I don't agree with everything Jay said, but I understand why he feels the way. So I gotta take that into account. So now when I'm making my argument, I'm going off of what I feel and my bias and my faith, but I also gotta take into account, I can't deny your experiences. I can't deny your feelings. I can't deny your faith and your facts. I can't deny it. So now when I'm speaking, and I was thinking about this, a perfect example of being objective. And I take it to the scripture. King Solomon had two ladies brought before him.
Good baby.
One of them, the lady, she was sleeping. She rolled over on her baby and suffocated the baby. And apparently where all the women were sleeping that day were sleeping around the same area. So she took her baby, put it in the bed with another lady's baby, took her baby. So the lady wakes up, and any woman that's a mother, you know your children. For sure. She's like, this ain't my baby. You took my baby. This is your baby. No, this. So the arguments get so heated they end up before the king. And so they present their cases. Lady saying, nope, this is my baby. She trying to take my baby from me. Other lady's like, no, it's really my baby. Her baby died, and she trying to make me have her baby. So he said, you know what? I heard both of your arguments. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm gonna cut the baby in half, and both of y'all can have a half in that way. I know the right. So whoever the right person is, you got half of your baby.
And the hit dog holler.
Exactly. And so what happened was, the lady who baby it wasn't was like, okay, go on, cut the baby in half then. Right. And the actual mother was like, no. He could not come to a valid conclusion until he was objective and heard both sides of the story and was able to make his righteous judgment, righteous conclusion, righteous decision based upon the information that he had heard from both sides. Now, in some cases, you only need to hear one side. Yeah. But in order to make a good conclusion, you need to be able to hear both arguments, and that's just like with a court situation. You don't just hear the defense, you also hear the prosecution. Y'all make y'all arguments, and based upon the arguments and evidence, you come to a conclusion. Now, sometimes conclusions are wrong. But you got to be able to hear both sides in order to do that. And so we wouldn't have been doing our due diligence had we just heard Pastor Malik, had we just heard Misty, Righteous Rhema, or on the other side, had we just heard Jay Sanders, or we had some of the other people that we know that's in frats or sororities, or like we had Tammy come on and talk about, like, we wouldn't have been doing this if we just heard about the people that's like, oh, I'm all Alpha or Kappa or AKA or Delta Sigma. Like, no, we need to hear perspectives on both sides. And so actually, even Pastor Malik, he was somebody who never actually was in it. So we got three different perspectives. A perspective from somebody who was from the outside looking in, somebody who was in it and got out, and somebody who's currently in it and has no intentions of going nowhere. But I would say again for y'all people in the comments, and we appreciate them.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Definitely appreciate them.
But go back before you make a statement or judge. Now, if we're saying something that's blasphemous, if we're telling you to go worship the devil or something like that, if we're promoting violence or you breaking your family up or hurting your children or hurting women or racism, if that disturbs you, fine, cut us off, unsubscribe, unfollow, don't listen. But if you just don't like what we're saying, get past the bias to hear the heart, to hear the overall message before you comment. Because there was a lot of comments like, oh, he's saying God cares. You didn't even hear what he was saying, because he talked right after he said that. He said these organizations. So when he said nobody, he's talking about the organization, not your family, not your church, not the Lord, not the Holy Spirit within you. He's talking about the organization. And he pointed out that we got tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that are joining, that's still in. So if you are dropping the bucket if you leave. He also talked about a brother, I'm not going to say the name, but you know the person, and he's famous around the city. He said, man, we see the brother, that's still our brother. We just don't.
Not in the same.
You know what I'm saying? Involve him in organizational stuff, but that we still love him. And when he left, and he said he left because it didn't align with his walk, he said nobody had a problem with that. The response was, hey, man, you go with God.
Yeah.
If the Lord is telling you to, man, you be obedient.
And another thing I wanted to even say with that, like, now I'm always about coincidences. I'm a believer that it's no coincidence. Like, I think the further that we go into this age and stuff like that, like, I don't think there's a reason why a lot of people have been denouncing and doing this. Because I do believe in the spiritual, the principalities, and all this stuff. And I think it's very real. The covenants, the oaths, and all that stuff. That stuff is legit and real. But also, to what Rag was saying, like, but it's a way to approach it. Everybody is approaching it like, you know what I'm saying, in a not loving way, in a kind of even, kind of disrespectful way. And I was talking to Big Rod about this. I was like, look, bro, if I'm going out and my wife told me, Jamal, you better be in this house before 10 o'clock. Nigga, I'm going to make sure I'm here at least by 10:30 just because she told me I need to be in the house by 10 o'clock. You feel me? You know what I mean? Like, so if you telling a grown woman, so if you telling a grown person that this is what you need to do because you're in this covenant and that, you can, damnation, going to hell and doing all this stuff like that, which I'm not going to necessarily dispute, but what do you think, how they're going to take that 9 times out of 10? You know what I'm saying? They're going to take it as, who are you? You're being mean to me. You're judgmental. And just because you said what you said, I'm going to go buy some more paraphernalia. You know what I'm saying? And post it and tag you in it. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're not gonna tell me nothing.
Off guard photo.
You know what I mean? Like
throwing the symbol up.
yeah, exactly. And so, and even when Pastor Malik was on, and I know they had the town hall at Breath, and I know certain people came to that town hall with their paraphernalia on, with their hat on, you know what I mean? And so, but they had nothing. But Malik just preached the word. So if they got offended by the word, that's whatever was on them. It wasn't an argument because he was actually preaching the word. He wasn't having a conversation with nobody. But you telling people what they need to do, when they need to do it, is probably not the best way. And I put I said this too, and all the seasons we've been having this. Keenan Stewart was the best man at my wedding, and the reason that he was that great friend to me was because all the foolishness he saw me go through, all the hoes he saw I was with, all the drinking and smoking. Just say a bad word. All the drinking and the smoking that I did around him, you know what I'm saying? He still, like, with love, it wasn't any different. You feel me? Like, it was just like he led me with love, like, all through these years. You know what I mean? And so, oh, snap. Ooh, that happened.
That's a sign from the Lord. Now I'm just playing.
Yeah, do that. I don't know what the world. It just probably is on the they fixed the handle on that. Yeah, it need to come down. It need to be facing me. Dang. Make sure it's is it standing straight? It wasn't crooked or something like that? No. Okay. But yeah, it's okay. That's crazy. I didn't even know.
I guess the way it would.
Okay.
You can have it wide enough.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. It's good. That's wild. But there it go again. Dang. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay. Yeah. So see that's what y'all don't understand. When we doing a live joint, like now that ain't never happened before.
Ain't never happened.
You know what I'm saying? Now, fortunately, y'all didn't. I don't think y'all saw it, but like, yeah, we had a whole like y'all would have thought we had a key grip or something like this, a gaffer, cause like a light just like fell over. But now like, and you know what? Keenan Stewart is a rat bastard, and
tell him he is.
But we love him though.
We love him.
And I can attest to that because he was my best friend for many years, and to the same thing that you said, like if anybody was to write a foreword to my autobiography, The Ratchet Life of Roche Ragland, like it would be K. Stewart. And he was around for all the ups, the downs, the good, the bad.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying? I remember, like, when my oldest was born.
Y'all roommates.
Yeah, we was roommates at one point. Like, but when Charity was born, like, I'd be recording in the studio. He engineering, Charity in her car seat. You know what I'm saying, in the studio. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like 7, 8 months old in the car seat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like when we was roommates, I want to say she was probably about like 1.5, maybe not quite 2, but like she'd be over there. You know what I'm saying? And so like a lot of times, like when she got older, I wouldn't let her sleep in the bed with me. So like I have her sleep in the front. Like I wake up, you know what I'm saying? And he tell me, man, I woke up, I was getting ready to leave. She didn't. You know what I'm saying? Brought her cover and the pillow, and she laying at my door, you know what I'm saying, while I'm asleep. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he's seen my whole life. Yeah. And so to your point, like I know he saw all of that with you and the accountability, that he held. And you need people like that.
And I was,
go ahead, finish your, I know you're making a point.
Yeah, and I almost lost it, because of the avalanche when the lights came out. But, if Keenan was another way telling me how bad I was, oh, you know who your daddy is, you shouldn't be doing this, smacking drinks out my hand, you know what I'm saying? Telling the girls, hey, you need to go. Like, this ain't what you, like, we probably wouldn't be cool, you know what I'm saying? Until, I would have came to maybe the conclusion, like, way later on, but the thing was that he he was still with me and allowed me to make my own choices. And when I needed his help and needed his prayer or needed some wisdom, he was there, you know what I'm saying, for me. And so it strengthened our relationship. And so back to the whole thing, even with, you know, the Jay Sanders thing and Misty Quinn, like, I think you said it greatly, man. Give that analogy about King Solomon and the woman and the baby, because I think both of those perspectives needed to be said. Just so now, if you're on the other side, as with me, as far as that being a covenant and oath that you probably don't need to be into it, you looked at Jay Sanders' episode and you saw a lot of things you could poke holes in, as far as what about this, what about that, if you're actually watching it, you know what I'm saying? And so you can do that and still, if you can still do that and still listen to his perspective, because that's not going to hurt you, that's not going to do anything, but you just put a listening ear. So I'm on the side of, you know what I mean, I think that the more time going on, I think more people are going to be held accountable for being a part of these organizations and stuff like that. But on the other side, it's like they have to come to that on their own time, or if at all. You know what I mean? And so me poking fun at it, or me poking, the bear. Now you asked me a question, I'm just gonna answer it. Mm-hmm. But like I said, that's the big bro. I know has helped him a lot. Jay Sanders was real cool with my pops. They had a lot of personal talks and conversations, and that he told me about. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna be disrespectful, to him on that side. But on the other end, if he asks me a question, I'm gonna keep it 100, just like I do with everybody else. Yeah. But that his perspective needed to be heard, and so whatever you think about how he did it, a lot of people said they couldn't even stomach to listen to the rest of it. They listened maybe to the first 20 minutes and they heard him say something or compromise or something like that, so they just kind of cut it off. But to me, you really, even in Christianity, you need to be able, to me, before I was at a place to where I couldn't read the Quran, I couldn't read other faiths because I was, it maybe swayed me this way. But I really got into my belief and my relationship with Jesus when I was open to listening to other sides, right, to Hebrew Israelites, to Muslims or whoever, Hinduism, whatever, to where I can let you finish what you're saying and hear what you're saying and not it offend me, because I'm already where I'm at. It's not going to sway me either way. Yeah. So
I mean, like, and y'all don't understand. I will go for JB the way that I go. Like, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? I know he's not everybody's cup of tea. But, like,
definitely,
loyalty is not based off of how much I agree with somebody, how much you make me smile, how much you co-sign me. When I was down, when I needed you, you were there. You didn't charge me anything for that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You don't. I'm the one who always bring it up. You ain't never brought it back up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was times like I knew I didn't have to cook on Sunday because either that way you didn't have hoes and you had ladies, but sometimes they might have had cooked for you and you had some leftovers, so we gonna eat, or I'm ordering a pizza. And for a whole, I don't even remember however long NFL season was, every Sunday from like 2 to like 6, 7 o'clock, we sitting up watching Reds. I'm like, man, save my life. Yeah. And it got to the point to where it started off from being like, okay, this is a good venting therapy, to like, I was looking for, like, I was living for that.
He was kicking it.
You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, like Sunday at church, like I'm sitting up there with you and your pops and your mom.
That's right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, y'all was sitting on the second row. Yeah. But it was like, when I got to walk up there, I didn't have to see nobody else's face because, like, I'm so close to the front. Yeah. If I'm looking behind, like, everybody gonna know I'm looking. Like, when I was sitting in the back, I can see everybody looking at me. Yeah. But like, when I'm up there with y'all, I don't see nobody looking. So y'all got to understand that. Again, my loyalty for Jay Sanders is like, regardless of my dad's history with his dad.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, I was an adult when I found that out.
Yeah.
But like, it was funny, and I talked about this the same way that when he had his earrings and his tattoos as a teenager, they did him like they did Malik. They had a town hall. And like, he was 16, 17. You got to remember, I'm like 9.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing this. And I'm like, man, this a teenager, man, going at these adults with the scripture. And I'm like, yeah, whatever he on, like, I want that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then when he got out of school, he came back and he's like, dang, look, little Rag, you done grown up, like, and I latched on to him. You know what I'm saying? But it was like the same way, man, just throughout all my life journey. He was one of my biggest cheerleaders. Like, man, doing my music, he always, man, had a CD. Man, he passed them out for me. People come, man, I heard you spit, man. Yeah, man, where you get my CD? Man, Jay Sanders, man, for real, you know Jay? Like, so somebody, man, he didn't charge me for that. And initially, I had a better relationship with his brother. As time has gone on, me and him got a better relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't charge me for that, man. That man would call me up, man. We joked. Our spot was Gus's Fried Chicken. Man, we done been to cut Gus's like 2 or 3 times. Like, yes. But he would hit me up, hey, man, we finna go. Man, I'm going to take you to lunch. You know what I'm saying? Or meet me. The first time he's like, meet me a good, like, okay, bet. So I'm thinking, okay, I got a couple of dollars. I can, man, we get ready, man. Come on, man. I invited you out, man. I got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just, man, I want to chop it up with you. I want to encourage you. Y'all don't understand. Yeah. So I said all that to say, man, if Jesus was here, how many of y'all like Jesus? Let's talk about Zacchaeus. Because Zacchaeus is somebody who you could have said was in an organization.
Yeah.
Not, Zacchaeus was the equivalent of somebody being in the mob.
Yeah.
And Jesus told Zacchaeus in front of everybody, I'm finna dine at your house tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And how you just pointed out, man, you got to talk a little like, man, some of y'all, think about who Jesus was always roasting. It wasn't Judas who betrayed him. It wasn't Thomas who was a doubter. It wasn't Peter who was a flip-flopper. Wasn't James and John who was always ready to kill niggas. Because what they say when the people wouldn't believe, man, rain fire down, like Kevin Hart said, rain fire on these bitches. Like, that was James and John. Again, y'all quick to point out script, like, how much of your Bible do you really read? Because Jesus had some hood niggas with him. The equivalent of who Jesus had, go watch BMF, go watch Power. That's who Jesus had rolling with him. Y'all think that he had some, he had some niggas with him. He had some killers with him. Yeah. He had some goons with him. Whatever your ethnicity is and whatever y'all terminology is, he had some thugs with him.
Peter.
Oh, yeah, Peter cut a nigga ear off.
Peter ready.
Like I said, James and John, they ready to rain fire down on him.
Yeah.
Judas was the equivalent of a Black Panther. That was his whole beef. Iscariot meant son of Carioth. That was an organization that was waiting on the chosen one to come to overthrow Rome. That's why he showed up with all them. So, like, because I'm finna force you finna show your hand in front of all these folks. And when Jesus said, y'all not taking me, I'm allowing y'all to get me. That's when Judas actually like, oh, I messed up.
I lay down my life.
Right. I
screwed
up.
Yeah.
That he got a revelation. Yeah. And then he just tried to handle it the wrong way, which is why he ended up taking his own life.
Yeah.
But again, look at who Jesus, they caught the woman in the act of adultery. Jesus didn't condemn her. Jesus laid down in front of her. Whoever ain't got one, throw it at me. Now y'all say, oh, it said throw the first stone. But go back and read it. It said they threw her down at his feet. It said he laid on the ground. Where did think? Use your brain. So if she's at his feet and then he lays down, where's he laying at?
Lay ground.
Check this out. She's naked. He probably covering her up. You probably can't see her because he blocking her in her nakedness.
Yeah.
But again, y'all, like you said, oh y'all, man, and again, I appreciate the comment. But watch the whole thing. Context matters.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Y'all don't be getting the context. Y'all hear one thing and y'all up, throw the baby away with the bathwater.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about that. But yeah, I did want to kind of just review that because we've been getting a lot of action on that, a lot of impressions, views, people commenting, people hit me up personally, and
But they don't hit me up.
Nah, they ain't gonna hit you up, not yet.
He drink too much yak, I guess. Okay, whatever.
Nah, but so yeah, that's on that. Now, before we end out, let's talk about these playoffs. NBA playoffs going on actually right now. Minnesota playing Phoenix.
Who you
got? Minnesota. Minnesota gonna win that. Now, I do want to say this about Minnesota before we go to the other series. They looking real good.
Michael Jordan's other son.
Michael Jordan's other son. Now this is
we all know that Jimmy Butler again. Like I said, now when it come out, y'all heard it on the Prez X podcast. So when they do a documentary, they need to have us on. We need our royalties.
I'll take it. But Anthony Edwards is like that's him. Mm-hmm. They did a split. You know what I'm saying? Cause
no, but it's just like with Jimmy Butler. They both
it is.
Like
they do, but I think Anthony Edwards look a little bit more like him. Just a little bit more like him. Just a little bit. And the whole thing. But what I was about to say, Anthony Edwards, he's 22 years old. They're the best defensive team in the league. They were number one team in the regular season. And this series with Phoenix, they're actually still showing that they actually play team defense. Because before, if you looked at it, it was all centered around Gobert. Mm-hmm. But Gobert could be on the bench, and they still hawking on defense. And so they got a shot to go to the finals, man.
I would say Anthony Edwards has Jordan's kind of overall game.
Yeah.
I would say the only difference is like Anthony Edwards looks like an older Jordan. Like young Jordan was just
87. 87.
What I mean is young Jordan was just all exciting.
Yeah.
Like it's all dunks, layups all the time.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards, the reason why it's initially you're not getting a comparison, and you got to remember, like the first people they compared to Jordan was Harold Miner, Vince Carter, Penny to a degree, Grant Hill, but they had a lot of slashing involved in their game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of going to the rack, layups, dunks.
Yep.
So that was why the comparison above the rim type of thing. Now Ant is that, but Ant's got a lot of the fadeaways, the step backs, you know what I'm saying, the post moves.
At 22 years
right,
old,
and
he's
so
22.
That's why initially he's not getting it, but again, you got to look at Ant is more polished Jordan, whereas a lot of the other comparisons was younger, more explosive Jordan.
Yeah.
The Jimmy Butler thing, and I know you said the split greens look like it. Jimmy Butler has that killer that Jordan had. Like whether it's going to teammates, like again that game when they was in the bubble, where he had the 40-point triple double, he collapsed on the scorer's table.
Yeah.
If that wasn't MJ, like when he was on Minnesota and he took not the bench.
He
took the last, not the other 10.
Yeah.
He took the 3 people and then the 2 that's on injured reserve. He took them and beat the starters.
Mm-hmm.
If that ain't Jordan,
oh yeah, that's MJ.
You see what I'm saying? Like that whole. So, but again, I agree with you. I take Minnesota over Phoenix, and we were talking about this off camera. I don't think Phoenix has enough depth on their team. They're extremely top heavy, and it's very exciting when they're on. It's beautiful to watch. But it's just like a car can't be all engine. You gotta have brakes, gotta have tires. The transmission has to work. Yeah. If you gotta drive a long way, you ain't gonna do no good if the air don't work. Like you need all of the parts. And so Phoenix, it's like a Ferrari with 3 engines, no tires. Yeah. Sound good when you cut it on, man. You hit that, sounds great. Take off. No tires. You got no defense. Yeah. You have no bench.
Yeah.
Man, but that engine sounds amazing. You got KD, you got Book and Bill.
Yeah.
Fine, it is not 25 better scorers than Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal.
No. And to your point, I'm pretty much with you because Phoenix, and I think I just like I want to be a GM, dog. Give me the job, just because to me the formula has always been set. It's not just about you getting a big three together. It's about you getting the right big three. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you look at KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, all superstars and all stars, but they play distinct roles.
Right.
They're different. They don't get a bucket all in the same way.
Okay, but then you got to think about the way they played.
Yeah, it was.
Ray Allen, prior to coming to Boston, he was still Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Yeah.
He became a spot-up shooter.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce was the one who kind of kept his role. He just took less shots.
So,
Kevin Garnett, became more of a defensive player.
Defensive player of the year.
But then look at the rest of their team.
Rondo,
the
technician.
You got Perk
Facilitator.
on the inside.
TA.
You got Big Baby coming off the bench.
Big Baby.
You got
Tony Allen.
completely different big than Garnett. You got James Posey, mostly defense, but a 3-and-D player, like a Bruce Bowen. I'm a defense, but on offense, I'm just spotting up. TA, young TA. That was when he was still slashing.
Yeah.
Taking it to the rack.
Eddie House.
You know what I'm saying? You got Eddie House. You got Leon Poe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the White Mamba, Brian Scalabrine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got all of these different pieces, but the biggest thing, you got all these offensive juggernauts. But on the starting lineup, Rondo played defense. Garnett played defense. Paul Pierce played defense. Perk played defense. Ray Allen wasn't a stopper, but Ray Allen stayed with his man.
He was solid. Yeah, he was solid.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was solid.
Young Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, but again, on the bench, Leon Poe played defense. Tony Battie played defense. Tony Allen played defense. James Posey played defense. Eddie House, not a stopper, but he played defense. So now you look at the team, you got the offense and you got the defense. But I would say, and going back to your GM standpoint, the last two teams that were successful in terms of dynasty, three-peat, in the last 30, 35 years, the Bulls, twice in the 90s, and the Lakers. Look at how their teams was built. So now in the Bulls' first three-peat, you had the best defensive shooting guard. You had the best defensive small forward who could also guard positions 1 through 4 effectively. You had another top 10 defender at the power forward in Horace Grant. You had another top 10 defender at the center in Cartwright. People forget Cartwright was an all-star in New York. Cartwright injured both of his knees and his wrist.
Yeah.
That was why the Knicks drafted Patrick Ewing and they traded him to Chicago for Charles Oakley. But prior to Patrick Ewing, they thought they had their center. Go look it up. Cartwright was an all-star in New York. Yeah. Cartwright was 20-12.
Yeah, Cartwright was good. He was good.
You know what I'm saying? So then, after he got injured, he was more of a defensive center. But when you look at the centers in the NBA, he was a top 10 defensive center at that time. You look at their bench. Cliff Levinson, defensive player. You had guys, so you had the offense. You had shooters. You had John Paxson. You had B.J. Armstrong. You had Trent Tucker. First three-peat, second three-peat. Again, you got the top defensive point guard. Who was a better defensive point guard than Ron Harper? Who was a better defensive shooting guard than Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Who was a better defender at the 3 than Scottie Pippen?
Right.
Who was a better defender at the 4 than Rodman?
Yep.
And then Longley, again, top 10. He probably was 10. But it was by committee. You had him. You had Bill Whittington. You had John Sally. You had Robert Parrish. Yeah. They swapping them out. You look at their bench. Judd Bushler, shooter, but also defender. Kerr, he ain't playing no defense, but he was shooting the peel off of it.
Yeah.
Kukoc wasn't defending, but he was doing everything else. Right? So look at how the team was built. Jason Caffey, Scott Barrett, you got people. So now look at the Lakers. You got Kobe. You got Shaq. Rick Fox, defender.
Yeah.
Horace Grant was in there, defender, rebounder. Derek Fisher, scrappy defender. Not a great defender, scrappy defender, but then you had Tyronn Lue. Outside of Iverson, he was a good defender.
Yeah.
He said he got that contract after they beat Philadelphia because they saw how he was D'ing up Iverson, even though everybody remembers that. So now, to your point, you're looking at these teams, the way Minnesota is built, and is scoring, Cat is scoring. You got Gobert playing defense, but then I was listening to an interview Ant did. Ant said the difference between a star and a superstar. He said the superstar is on both ends.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
You see what I'm saying? He got that mentality. Like, I don't want to just be good on offense. I want to be good on defense too.
Now who? Okay, so we got that. Now just real quick, Boston, Miami. What you think? Who
I don't
got?
never count Miami out, but I got Boston. If
Yes.
Boston don't win, that's an extreme disappointment. They need to blow the whole thing up.
Boston taking that. Knicks and Philly.
Knicks.
Yep, that's
Jalen Brunson legit.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson legit, and Josh Hart. Josh Hart, he different.
His teammate from
Villanova, yeah.
And Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah, DiVincenzo.
Because
Yeah.
they also got a podcast.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and
they
the three Villanova dudes.
The Bucks, Indiana. Indiana won tonight actually, so it's 1-1. And Greek Freak not back yet. He probably gonna be back to maybe game 4 or 5. I got Indiana. I think Indiana gonna win that series. If Greek Freak don't come back, if he don't come back to game 5,
I think
it's
the
gonna
X
be a wrap.
factor of that game will be Thanasis Antetokounmpo. I'm joking.
It's bad.
I'm joking.
Now and the Cavs, Orlando. That's kind of been like, Cleveland gonna take that though. Cleveland gonna take
I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't be mad if Paolo Banchero ended up on the Bulls, but I digress.
That would be dope. All right, OKC and New Orleans. That was a close first game. They won by like 3 or 4 points.
OKC did.
OKC did. I got OKC though. They gonna finish that off.
New Orleans is frustrating.
Yeah, because Zion ain't coming back. Zion not coming back for this series. They said they're gonna reevaluate him in 2 weeks.
Zion might not be coming back to New Orleans. Hell, if he don't play this series, he's trying to. I'm not gonna lie. If Zion decided he's gonna be healthy, I wouldn't be mad if Zion went to the Bulls or to the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
Hey,
but I mean, I feel like him and Ja would be good together. But the only problem with that is that number one, what position would he play? Because he's not a 3, and it's looking like
play the 4.
So.
Jaren has had to play the 5.
Okay, what about Gigi?
6 man.
Yeah, see, to me, I feel like
He's
Gigi.
6 man.
I feel like the way Gigi played and Jaren. So you got Jackson.
Don't forget Vince Williams.
What position he play?
3.
Okay, so you got Jackson, Williams, Bane, and Ja.
Mm-hmm.
That see what I'm saying? So like, I feel like the only way Zion would work on the Grizzlies is that you would have to get rid of probably Gigi, because he on the come up.
Yeah, we're gonna keep that dude.
And that's what I'm saying. And then like we know he's gonna play. He ain't got a weight problem.
No, we're gonna keep
now
him.
if Zion was doing that weight shit to kind of, but he done wasted a lot of years.
So who you got winning?
Yeah, OKC.
You got OKC. All right, and so Denver and the Lakers. I got Denver. They went up 2-0 last night. They hit a last second. Actually, it was a great game last night between the Sixers and the Knicks and the Lakers and the Nuggets. And, of course, the Lakers lost, and the Lakers in the postgame went to go blame the refs. You know what I'm saying? After losing a 20-point lead in the third quarter. So
just so that's the case, then it was the refs' fault that Portland blew that 70-point lead when they played L.A. that year.
Yeah.
It was the refs' fault when Portland was up 17 versus the Bulls in 92 in Game 6 when the Bulls came back and won. Like, we can blame the refs. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
Denver.
No.
Denver.
Yeah, definitely Denver.
Denver, okay. We already said Minnesota, them. The Lakers and Dallas. They playing right now. We about to actually watch that here when we get about to get up.
You said the Lakers.
My bad. The Clippers and Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas ain't got no defense.
Yeah, I got the Clippers on that. And, okay, that's it. And so now, but I think this is playoffs have been like real exciting. I think I'm excited to see what Minnesota do. I think they kind of like my dark horse in the West, and obviously Denver since they're the defending champs. But yeah, man, we went over the time that I thought we were gonna do, y'all. But until next time, continue with that executive mind set.
And most definitely keep it presidential.
Salute.
Arrivederci. Bow.
Boop, boop, boop.
I mean, that's not too bad.